On a quiet Saturday morning in northern Texas, 13-year-old Caleb Thompson pedaled his creaky bike out of his garage, the air crisp with the promise of a carefree day. The suburban streets buzzed softly, birds chirped, sprinklers hissed, and a distant basketball thumped against the driveway. Caleb, in a faded tee and 2 small sandals, shouted, "I'm off to Ryan's!" to his parents, who were sipping coffee inside. No permission needed, it was just a courtesy call. Ryan, his best friend since 6th grade, lived in Crestwood Estates, a gated community with polished stone arches and manicured lawns. Their bond was simple: video games, dumb jokes, and an unspoken rule: if it's Saturday and you're free, you hang out. Caleb's neighborhood was modest, nothing like Crestwood's luxury SUVs and identical mailboxes. But Ryan's family never cared, welcoming Caleb like one of their own. With a blue Gatorade in hand, he rode 5 miles, wind in his face, one earbud blasting music. The ride felt like freedom, the kind of moment that glows in memory. But freedom can turn sharp, and by noon, Caleb's day would spiral into a nightmare that would spark outrage and change a community forever. As Caleb crossed Crestwood's ornate gates, a white golf cart sat near the entrance, 3 adults eyeing him like hawks. He barely noticed, used to the neighborhood's overzealous patrols. But seconds later, the cart's electric hum closed in, cutting him off. "Stop!" barked a voice. Caleb braked, his bike wobbling. 3 HOA members, 2 men and a woman in embroidered polos, stepped out, radiating authority. The tall one, with slicked-back gray hair and sunglasses, clutched a clipboard like a weapon. "You're not a registered guest," he said coldly. The woman, lips pursed, demanded, "Who let you in?" "I'm visiting Ryan Carter on Maple Grove," Caleb said, confused but steady. "I've been here before." The short, red-faced man snapped, "That's not the question. Who let you in?" Caleb stammered. The gate was open. The tall man scribbled furiously. "So you trespassed?" Caleb's stomach sank. He didn't have an ID, he was 13. The woman grabbed his bike. "We're holding this," she said, like it was stolen. "You're a liability. Leave now." "My parents know I'm here," Caleb protested. "I live 10 miles away." The woman wheeled his bike to the cart. "Not our problem." Without another word, they turned away, chatting as if Caleb were invisible. His sandals had snapped earlier, so he stood barefoot, trembling with shame and anger. They didn't ask his name or call his parents. They just left him on a pristine street, alone, with no bike, no phone, and an 11-mile walk home in the Texas heat. The sun climbed, and the blacktop burned. Caleb walked, expecting them to turn back, to apologize. They didn't. Crestwood's perfect roads gave way to a shoulderless highway, gravel and glass cutting his feet. By mile 2, blisters formed. At mile 3, he reached a gas station, lingering in the air-conditioned store to escape the heat. The clerk stared, but Caleb had no money, no phone, no words. He kept walking. By mile 5, his feet bled, each step a stab of pain. He tried the grass, the dirt, nothing helped. The heat was suffocating, his vision blurring by mile 7. Cars passed, but no one stopped. Who would? He was just a dirty, barefoot kid. At mile 10, his feet went numb, his body moving on instinct. Finally, his street appeared, familiar, flawed, home. He collapsed in the driveway, too spent to reach the porch. His mom, Sarah, opened the door and screamed, dropping to her knees. Caleb's feet were raw, cracked, blood-streaked. His dad, Michael, froze in the doorway, rage and grief warring in his eyes. "I couldn't call," Caleb whispered. "They took my bike." Sarah held him, sobbing. "You're safe now." But Michael's silence was louder. Something had snapped. They cleaned Caleb's wounds, wrapped him in a blanket, and listened as his story spilled out: the cart, the clipboard, the cold dismissal. Later, Ryan's mom sent ring footage. Michael watched it alone, 3 adults cornering Caleb, grabbing his bike, waving him off like trash. It wasn't just cruel, it was deliberate. He called the HOA, reaching a smug board member who cited resident safety and access guidelines. No apology, no concern for Caleb's 11-mile walk. Michael hung up, sat in the dark, and planned. Michael wasn't just a dad. He was a land surveyor, an expert in boundary law, an heir to a forgotten legacy. His grandfather owned a strip of land 0.8-mile road leading into Crestwood, legally his. Decades ago, developers assumed it would transfer to the HOA. It hadn't. 2 years back, Michael found the deed while settling his uncle's estate. He'd kept quiet, but now, with his son's blistered feet and broken spirit, he had a reason to act. Monday morning, Michael called his attorney, laying out the facts: a minor detained, humiliated, and abandoned on his land. By Tuesday, an injunction was filed, barring HOA access to the road. By Wednesday, signs appeared. Private property. No trespassing. The fallout was instant. Landscapers couldn't enter. Trash piled up. Amazon vans turned back. Residents flooded the HOA with complaints, furious at the chaos. The media pounced. A local news story went viral, paired with a photo of Caleb's feet. Reddit exploded. They messed with the wrong dad. TikTok clips racked up millions of views. The HOA's PR statement flopped, and leaked emails exposed their arrogance. By Friday, Crestwood was a national punchline. News vans camped outside the gates that Michael now controlled. Residents turned on the HOA, parents fearing for their kids. Lawsuits loomed. The board caved, sending an apology and reinstating Caleb's access. Michael didn't reply. He demanded a meeting. In a sterile office, he slid a contract across the table: 72-hour access requests, no detaining minors, and permanent acknowledgement of his ownership. The board signed, cornered. Michael left without a word. Caleb's bike reappeared by the garage, but Michael had already bought him a sleek new one. The 3 HOA members vanished quietly, resigned, in shame. A new sign stood at Crestwood's entrance. Private road, Thompson family property. Caleb rode to Ryan's again, head high, the golf cart gone. The community felt different, humbler, exposed. The road wasn't just pavement, it was justice, carved in silence. This story isn't just about a boy's walk or a father's revenge, it's about power, accountability, and who gets to draw the line. Did Michael go too far, shutting down a neighborhood to make a point? Or was his calm, legal strike the only way to teach a lesson? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us, was this justice or vengeance? Let's spark a debate and keep this story trending. Word count: 5,998 characters.